So I often get the question, why do you do this? You're an atheist. Why do you talk so much about God? What does it matter to you? What other people believe? Well, today I'm going to get into that just a little bit. If you're watching on YouTube, maybe this is the first time that you've seen me. If you're listening to the podcast, you've probably listened to at least maybe an episode or two, so thank you for that. But I run an Instagram page, a Twitter. I have a TikTok where I do stupid shit. And I get the question often, why do you do this? Why do you care so much about what other people believe? What does it matter to you? Just leave them alone. Live and let live, and so on and so on. I was a Christian for most of my life. As a kid, we were raised in church. We went to church. I didn't really get heavily into it until I was about 16, but it was always as a family, we believed in God. And then when I was 16, I really got heavily into reading the Bible, praying a lot, and trusting God, believing God, worshiping God, going to church a lot. When I was 26, I became an atheist. So that's a solid 10 years of my life that I spent dedicated to God, believing in God as the ultimate source of truth. And once I came out of that, I realized I felt like I had wasted a decade of my life. A common theme in Christianity and throughout the Bible is that basically we're nothing without God. That God is everything, that we have to completely rely on Him, and that we are just sinners who are deserving of hell without God's grace. And that's damaging. It's damaging to people. I do what I do because I don't believe that we're nothing. I believe that we have one life, and it's the one that we're living right now, and that we shouldn't spend this life waiting for the next one, or waiting for the afterlife, waiting for eternity, however you want to phrase it. I do what I do because atheists are the minority in America. 65 to 70% of Americans are Christians in some form or fashion, and about 25% don't have any kind of religious affiliation. So that doesn't even necessarily mean that all that 25 to 30% are atheists. Probably some agnostics, some spiritual, some just don't really care. So the actual number of atheists, outspoken atheists, and people who will openly say that they're atheists are low. I do what I do because of the harmful effects of religion. You have indoctrination, which by its nature discourages critical thinking. So you're raised to believe something and you just believe it because it was told to you, or your parents believe it, and you just grow up and that's just how you continue believing. And that's true for me, and that's true for more than just religion too. It goes for politics and relationships and everything, just how you think you're supposed to be. I speak out against indoctrination because it discourages that critical thinking. Another harmful effect of religion is denial of science. A lot of people who believe in God think that climate change is a hoax, that evolution is not real, that viruses are not real or overblown, or some sort of work of the devil to get us microchipped, or that the vaccine is the mark of the beast, and just crazy stuff like that. War and terrorism are also a harmful effect of religion. If you don't believe me, then look at 9/11. The guys who flew their planes into the Twin Towers thought they were doing what God wanted them to do. There have been centuries and centuries of war fought over gods, over people in their head thinking, this is what God wants me to do, this is what I should do, following voices in their head and doing what those voices tell them to do and calling it God, or some ancient text, unreliable, translated multiple times text, and inferring from that what they should do, what they think God wants them to do. Translation, misinterpretation. Fear is another harmful effect of religion. You're going to go to hell if you don't believe a certain way. Being gay is an abomination. These are not things that we should be telling to children. They grow up thinking that they have to walk on eggshells or else they're going to go to hell, or they can't be who they truly are because it's some sort of sin. That is a form of abuse. Speaking of abuse, let's talk about Catholic priests for a second. There's another harmful effect of religion. Look at what's going on in the Catholic Church. And not even just the Catholic Church. Look at churches across the nation, across the world. Abuse in the name of God, manipulation in the name of God. God would want you to do this. And people use that, people in power use that against those who are desperate or questioning or confused. I already spoke on this a little bit, but intolerance. You have Christian families who disown their children because they come out as gay or because they find out that they're gay. Aside from within families, intolerance nationwide of other cultures, of other religions, of other people, of other beliefs. It's really unhealthy to live this one life that we know that we have for the next one. You're putting a low emphasis on what happens here. If you think it's temporary, then you're just living for the next life. You treat the earth like shit because who cares? It's just temporary. We're all going to heaven after this. So it doesn't really matter what happens. And then you can get into the whole man is at the top of the food chain and look at how poorly we treat animals that we eat in this world. Factory farming, animal farming. When you say, oh, God gave us all these animals and we can do whatever we want with them, then it just puts animals a tier below us and they have to live in cages for their whole life before they're slaughtered. Kevin, why do you do this? How about stuff like purity culture, where women, young girls are shamed and told that if they have sex before marriage, that they're dirty, filthy. This is why so many couples get married so young in the Bible Belt where I live, because they don't want to sin. They don't want to fall into this lifestyle of sin of having sex before marriage. So just get married. Just get married when you're real young before you even know how life works at all. Religion is misogynistic. It teaches women that they are a step below men. If you don't believe me, open the Bible. Also, quick shout out to Islam on that front as well. I feel compelled to do this because I know that there are a lot of people out there who are looking for community, for people who are like them, because when I deconverted from Christianity 10 years ago, there wasn't really much of this out there that I could find. Most of the people that I knew were Christians and still strong in their faith. Social media was a thing, but it wasn't what it is today, so I didn't really have that outlet, that place where I could find like-minded people, and that's why I do this. It's not like I'm trying to just diss Christians or diss religion. I'm trying to be relatable for people who are looking for others who don't believe. It's not a hate thing. It's not a, oh, the church hurt me so bad and that's why I stopped believing thing. I stopped believing because I realized that 80 to 90% of the people in the world believe the same way that their parents do. And so most people believe because of indoctrination. And if that were the case, then why did I think that my religion was the right one and that other people had it wrong, that billions of other people in the world had it wrong? And that was the first crack in the foundation of my belief. Thanks for watching / listening. If you want to support me, you can do so at patreon.com/JesusUnfollower. And until next time, let logic and reason guide the way. Peace out.